It's Cash Color Cannabis, a high level of conversation on LivehiphopDaily.tv. This episode is sponsored by Atlantis Clothing. From our drug lord to Atlantis and Return to the Vipers, shirts are all available now on AtlantisClothing.com. So head to the site and shop today. All right, so without further ado, I have a guest on the show today who I've actually been wanting to be a guest for a little while now. Yeah, I remember talking to Shanika about it. I was like, Shanika, when you gonna help me plug that in and get Quanna on the show? But I finally got my friend Quanna on the show. Quanna's a dope MC. She I don't even want to downplay. I'm gonna let her explain herself because for everything from culture curator to a whole lot of things, man. But she's in the middle of rolling the blunt, but she could multitask.
I can multitask. What's good, y'all? Cash Color Cannabis. Shout out to you, Mecca, for having me.
No doubt.
So I'm Quanna. I'm a human being. I'm a girl. I'm a boss ass bitch. Oh Lord, that's my phone.
In that order.
In that order.
And that's my phone.
Yeah, it's always ringing. But I'm the founder. I created this phrase called CareFreeBlackGirl. Just came out of, me calling myself a carefree black girl. From Savannah, Georgia. I went to Clark, Atlanta, and then I moved to New York to pursue music. And it was just a phrase I was using to define myself, and it went viral around 2013. And since then, I'm an artist. Carefree Black Girl is now a lifestyle brand.
Yeah.
We do a lot of different stuff for black women, queer people, black men. In general, I don't know. I hate explaining myself.
I like that. She gave
so much.
She gave bullet points to our whole interview. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, so let me start with the first bullet point. We're gonna get into the music first. When was the first time that you got a feeling that music was gonna be your life? Like, was it something that maybe your mother or your parents was playing early, or what hit you first and said music was gonna be it for me?
I would say, wow, that's a good one. So, in 5th grade, I wrote my class school song, right? And I knew then that I wanted to do music, but it wasn't so the whole class hated the song.
Okay.
They were like, why the fuck we not singing Whitney Houston, I Believe the Children Are the Future, like the years before. Like, they're like, why we gotta sing this song? And I was really embarrassed about making music, but I stayed close to it by being in marching band. Like, I was one of the only middle schoolers in marching band.
Yeah, I'm scared of people in band.
Yeah, I was in marching band from 6th grade all the way through Clark, Atlanta.
Yeah, but marching band people are thugs, dog. Straight up. Like, if you meet somebody named band and they say they was in KK side, like, just
I've been
for
talking
real.
to Sigma.
For real. Like look at them a couple times because they'll jump you.
Well, but long story short, it was like being in collegiate band and like being in my music sorority and like just seeing like how they loved it. It just made me take it serious. And then when I got to Atlanta, I saw people that like had a career in music on different levels, and so it was just like, damn, I'm about to do this regardless of like anybody fuck with it or not. Because where I came from, like, being the lawyer, the doctor was the it thing. Like, it wasn't, we had artists from Savannah, but we didn't have like majors like y'all had in Atlanta. So it was just so like far-fetched. And then when I got here, it was like, damn, I can really do that. So that's what it was. It was really like just being in Atlanta and knowing that like I could actually do it and like stop, like getting to a point where I didn't want to deny myself that anymore. It's like, girl, you in marching band, but you dancing. You not even playing no instrument. Like, at what point do you say, okay, like I'm going to just do something? And so when I moved to New York, I just was like, this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm pretty sure being at Clark inspired that a lot. Clark got that background where it's almost, if you are in music in Atlanta, you went to Clark, and it's like, what is it, a rite of passage? We have to go back and give a lecture to a class.
Right.
So I'm sure you done seen a ton of them folks come through and kind of help that.
Yeah, it was so crazy because when I was at Clark, like when I was graduating, that's when like 2-9 and like all those people was coming up. So it was like really dope to see them from like, back then, and then when I like started to become a real artist and being at like A3C and South by Southwest and seeing them like actually on the bigger stages. Yeah. So like, even though I wasn't an artist in Atlanta, I didn't really start until I got to New York the next year. But as soon as I started, everybody from Atlanta was like, come do this open mic, come do this. So it was really like, oh shit, like I got a lot of love.
I love, you mentioned 2-9. I remember when I first got to Atlanta, 2-9 was a thing, but I didn't know it. Like, I remember going to this little spot in East Atlanta, and they were performing. It was them, and Milo Smith performed, Money Making Neek performed. And you really was watching people who was about to blow the hell. Jid performed that night. Earth Gang came. It was with Earth Gang then. Earth Gang came through. It was dope, man. Like, I remember that whole move, man. That's such a dope moment in time to be in Atlanta to see them young kids just kind of prosper.
That was dope. Yeah, and it was like a little older than me, but it was dope to see like them doing it, and then like to be an up and coming artist and to see them and they were like, oh hey, what's up? You make music? Yeah, whatever. And I wasn't just like the girl that went to Clark that was just hanging around the people. It was like, oh my gosh, she's one of the guys now.
And you're from
not really one of the guys, but like one of us.
You're from Savannah, correct?
Yeah.
So Savannah's another city that I got a lot of love for. I've yet to really have a chance to go there and kind of absorb the culture, but from people like Al Parks, founders, street execs, he's from Savannah. Shout out to my man Rollo, even Clay James. They all been on the show.
I was about to say, you had a few people from Savannah.
Yeah, and they all exude that Savannah-ness. You know what I mean? Savannah remind me a lot of Charleston. If you've been to South Carolina, like the Gullah,
it's like the Gullah Geechee people.
Yeah.
We are very like we got that twang with everything we do. Yeah, Atlanta, y'all cut words and we just drag them out. So they don't drag no more.
Buddy, Atlanta got their own vocabulary as far as I'm concerned. Like you'll hear people say stuff in Atlanta, it's like, I don't know, dog. Like it just it's crazy. But the thing about Savannah, I like, saying between music, just the culture overall, the black culture overall, and just the feel of the spot. I feel like that's alone is an inspiration. You know what I'm saying? Just being able to come up there. I mean, I know it's probably not the easiest thing to blow up there, but to get your inspiration and kind of get a good understanding of who you're about to be as an artist, Savannah's a great place to start for me. Hey, music. Yeah.
Yeah, Savannah for me, like, even though I would say, because people are like, oh my God, how does it factor in like to your story? So born and raised in Savannah, I went to Clark and then I moved to New York. So like most of my music career has been technically in New York.
Yeah.
It was just that I was a Savannah artist, so I never fit in New York, and I never like said, okay, like how people will be like, oh, I'm from Brooklyn, but no, I'm from Savannah. It just set me apart. Like it gave me the edge that I needed. Like when I moved to New York in 2012, 2013-ish, because I was like back and forth, they were just getting into the South sound, and the sound that I had, it was a little like I didn't realize what I had at first, if that made sense.
Oh yeah.
So like I learned how to do boom bap, and I mastered it really, really well. But then I realized that like even though I could do this well, it's not really me. And then when I started to like just be something like like rap how I would rap, it gave me like a different edge in music. So like not only am I lyrical and I can do the boom bap, but I can do like the New York people do, and I'm like I can not rap over my lyrics at all. Like I can literally. My music can cut and I would know where to start off. I don't get winded, you know what I'm saying? But I still have my musicality, my twang that came from Savannah and came from being in marching band. So like, if you give me a beat, I can insert my voice in different areas of it versus just having to be like a certain solid flow on everything. Yeah. And a lot of like, just rappers don't have that. And I think that just growing up in the church and like being in marching band and being around music and knowing how to actually play instruments, even though I don't play them, it just gave me a different edge. So, I don't consider myself like just a rapper. I consider myself an artist because though I rap right now, like when I turn 40, 35, like I might pivot to dance music. But,
No, you could.
Yeah, I might pivot. Yeah. So it's just about that, knowing how to make music overall, and I think that's what Savannah gave me. Like it made me like an artist because we were outside. Like, my mom was like, I was in almost every sport, every season I had a sport. Thank you.
As they do in the South, you know what I'm saying? They keep y'all busy with sports.
Where are you from?
From Boston.
Boston? Okay. Word.
And I was going to speak about that because you had to go to New York, and my trip was vastly different. Like, I mean, I had most of my family either is from the South and moved up north, and then all of us were born up north, and we came to school down south. We ended up living down south. So I know it was kind of culture shock to me when I first got down south. I'm so used to Boston racism, and I'm like, it's cool to me. Like, I understand somebody saying don't be here, because I'm going to tell you don't be here. Getting to the South blew my mind because...
Like that catty-ass smile, like...
Look, when I get down to the South, I was like, this is the most... I thought it was going to be more racist, and it was a lot of passive-aggressive racism.
Passive, yeah, that's the worst kind. Though.
Yeah, and that's the worst kind, because I'm saying in Boston, I know exactly where not to go, and I'm cool with that. Down here, you could be in the whole room and not realize they hate you until you left.
Yeah, or you could be like somewhere and they'll smile as you come in and be like 911, there's a nigga right here coming to kidnap us. You're like, nigga, what?
It's
like, I thought I was welcome here. Like, no, actually you're not. Can you remove him? Mm-hmm. Like, that's how it is in Georgia.
So what was it like for you coming from Savannah and coming from Clark and then having to be immersed in the New York scene like immediately like that?
So funny story about my life. My mom And my uncle, my grandma and my uncles, they lived in New York and Long Island for a while.
Okay.
My grandma was like this.
That's crazy. We got Wu-Tang
no
playing right
queen
there.
pin in New York. She sold Rakim his first zip type of shit. So like they had already had the history of New York, and I had like gone to visit. But I had Long Island, New York. So the New York that I went to was Brooklyn, in Manhattan, in Harlem. So it was a complete culture shock. Like the first time I saw the Jews, I thought they was coming to get me. With the I was like running, and they was like, no, they just live over here. I was like, what? Because they were like really like they're really into it. You know, they're Hasidic. And it's like they have the kids are like, and I'm like. Asking them questions and niggas is walking fast.
She think it's a Hulu.
Yo, what's going on? Like, give me some directions. They're like,
she think it's Bridesmaid's Tale. Like, what the hell's going on here?
So it was that for me, and then like realizing that everybody wasn't like American black.
Yeah.
That to me was like the biggest culture shock.
So you met like Trinidadians, Jamaicans,
yeah, so
like
that.
Everybody's
Got it. In New York. Everybody is most people are from another country.
Yeah.
And like you have a lot of native New Yorkers, but you have a lot of people from other countries.
Yeah.
And people thought I was either Jamaican or Dominican because my hair is curly and a brown skin.
I can see Dominican, really.
Yeah, so everybody thought I was Dominican. And when you mix my southern accent with the New York twang, it makes a little dirty Spanish like thing. So everybody like thought I was like, you know, like speaking like, you know, Dominican street slang. They was like, yeah, you speak just like no, I'm like black. And so after a while, I got used to it. But that first year, I was like, damn, like, so you don't know what I'm talking about? Like you don't know, like simple shit, like sweet tea, like I don't know.
That's
like,
that's trippy because you know, growing up, I know exactly what you're talking about because I didn't realize until I got to college at Johnson C. Smith that I never dated a black girl who wasn't from another place. Like it was Jamaican, Trinidadian, Panamanian. I never had like somebody who's just like, I'm from Boston and you're from Boston.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or something like that. So yeah, I feel you on that. Like you meet black people who are not like you black, you feel like.
Yeah, and it was so crazy because even though they weren't like me, like as far as like being American or stateside, I found more people that were like me and thought. And so like I felt like New York was that for me. Like it was like, okay, it like changed my perspective on like the world and shit like that.
That's what's up. I feel like you learned a lot while you was in New York.
Yeah, I did. It gave me the confidence to really like do what I do because I think that I love Atlanta, but when I was here, it wasn't so open to the other girl, the other type of black girl. It was very like bad, like you know what I mean? Like I feel like I'm a bad bitch, but I'm a different type of bad bitch. It was more like, you know what I mean? Like yeah, it was more. It was like a very like one size fits all, and it's never that. It was never that, and it kind of. Like, I didn't see a place for Bosco and all those people when I first was here in Atlanta. And it wasn't until I left. And then I was like, okay, they're actually doing the same things that I want to do. But even with them, like, I'm still, like, other. You know what I mean? Because I, like, rap. But you know what I mean? I don't really, like, it's just now that I'm being more, like, sexy or whatever. I always had body, but I'm more like B-boy. You know what I mean? I like hip-hop, you know? So it wasn't a place for me. And I think that New York gave me that insight to see the people that were like me, you know what I mean? And so I could go anywhere in the country and see those people now.
You know what I love about, you know, I'm going to say how I met Quanna. I met Quanna through Miss Thang, the Miss Thang project. I met you through that. And the next thing I did was, like I do with most artists, I followed them on, no, I'm good. I don't smoke on the show. And I'll talk to you about that later. But the first thing I thought about, you know, when I get into a new artist is, let me check out their social media. And I'm going through your social media and I'm watching you and I'm like, I'm waiting to see some performances. It took me a while to see a performance, and then I saw what I thought was a performance, but it was you emceeing an event. And I'm watching you MC this event, and I said to myself, "Yeah, I'm a fan of her because I think she just conquered a niche. I think she totally just conquered a niche."
Oh wow!
Yeah, man. So talk to us about hosting balls. Talk to us about emceeing balls.
Okay, so I became Quanna MC. So I just started hosting balls. I've only been a commentator for a year and a half.
Really?
But I've been Quanna MC since I was 12.
Okay.
Because I've always thrown parties.
Yeah.
Like, I've always was the girl who would say, pull up to my grandma's house. We having the party. After school, I would host. You know what I mean? Somebody would get on the DJ and I would just talk my shit. And I've always been a person that I feel like when I speak, I can demand a room. And if you give me a mic, you're going to be, like, stunned. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm a good host. You know what I mean? I'm a good people person. I like to dance. I like to have fun. And I've been a fan of Ballroom for a very long time. When I first started walking, I used to walk other categories like They have categories like body, where you show your body.
I feel like, for those people who don't
know what ballroom is. Yeah, okay, sorry. So for those who don't know what ballroom is, it's an underground culture that was created by trans women, Black and Latino, to highlight them in a creative space, give them a sense of fabulosity. So they would go underground places and have balls and compete different categories for prizes. Today it's becoming more popular. If you see Pose, that's the popular one. They have a new show called Legendary that's a little bit more accurate, but still not all the way there, because the ballroom is fierce, honey. It's fierce.
And and to give y'all a heads up why I know what a ballroom scene is. Paris is burning.
Yes, Paris is burning. Yes.
Paris is burning, 2 a.m. Me and my wife are up trying to find something to watch on TV, and we went to Netflix, and I was going through the documentaries, and I remember hearing Paris is burning. Yeah, I remember hearing Paris is burning for forever, and I was like, I never saw it. Y'all. So me and my wife sat there and watched it, and by the end of that night, we watched it twice, and then we went on Google search. And I was like, yo, because as I do my shirts, I got Atlantis clothing. I came this close to having a Crystal LaBeija shirt. Like, I Googled Crystal LaBeija, and I was like, yo, that's the realest shit I've ever seen in my fucking life. You got to really watch Queen, too. Have you seen Queen? See Queen and watch her cuss this chick out at the end in the nicest way possible, dog. It was just the dopest shit. But when I started seeing you, the thing that clicked in my mind again with the ball was, I always felt like there should be more music coming out of the ball scene. I'm like, I'm watching these cats on these mics. I'm like, this is real, like, prime art, like prime lyricism going on. Like, why am I not seeing more people? Why am I not seeing more artists being bred out of this scene?
Well, because it's gay, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's trans, you know what I mean? People don't want to see, essentially, you know what I mean, people who they consider like men in dresses, to be derogatory. This, but that's their problem. And I think that today in 2020, people are becoming more open-minded. You have MCs like Precious, Ebony. She's super dope. Like My Father, Ballroom, Lego. He's on the new what commercial is that? Oh my God. Smirnoff commercial. So shout out to Lego. My Father, he's like, fathers at Ballroom are people who like take you under their wing and guide you. So like Lego's on the Smirnoff commercial with Laverne Cox. So it's becoming more mainstream. Yeah. I am one of the only cis women commentators. So for me, it has been kind of like a struggle with like knowing my place, because I do feel like Ballroom was created by trans women, and people are, some people want to acknowledge them, some people don't. And I feel weird about it sometimes, taking up too much space, because like I have a lot of spaces that already represent me. So like I try to like take the backseat on that, because though I am a star, people love me because I'm a girl and I'm out here winning grand prizes, it's still like, a lot of people who are gay and who are trans who don't like, get the recognition.
You don't want to step on that line where you're feeling like it goes from celebration to appropriation. Yeah. And that's what I felt like with the shirt. I was like, I feel like I'm crossing the line between celebration and appropriation, because if people don't fully know who this person is and I'm walking around with a shirt, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like it can go a lot of different ways.
It's tricky. I mean, you can always reach out to people and see if they want to do collaborations. Because Pat McGraw, she just basically like, she's a well-known makeup artist. She just did a campaign, and she had, I forgot the white woman's name, with a trans person in their lap propping her up. So it was like very offensive, and they forced her to take it down. So like, it's like 2020 is so slippery. You don't even want to like do too much, but I think that if you did something and you reached out to somebody, these people are not like accessible. Like LaBeijas, they will probably do a collaboration with you. Let
me tell you, like I said, that Crystal LaBeija quote. What she say? What she say? She called that girl. She said she's pretty, but she's not prettier than I. Yeah. No offense. I was like, the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? No offense. So, but I'm pretty sure that's a hard job to do as far as maintaining the MC role, especially as you are. Like, have you felt any kind of hatred, or has any kind of backlash come from you being an MC?
Well, so far in the ballroom scene, I would say like in ballroom or just in general?
Just ballroom.
In ballroom, okay. So in ballroom, I would say this: like I'm a newbie, so like I get a lot of hate, but I have to get better at my craft. If that makes sense. Like no one's just going to be winning $700 if they're just like learning how to chant. If you don't know how to get like. In ballroom, I gotta make all y'all dance. You know what I mean? And y'all all might be a different type of Vogue. You know what I mean? So it's not like just you walk on and you look cute. Like, yeah, you're cute, but did you win? You know what I mean? Did you sit her? Did you get us up? And I haven't hosted a ball yet. I've only competed. Like I'm walking in the category, if that makes sense. Like this year would have been my first year hosting a ball, and I was nervous as fuck because it's like. if you don't keep that rhythm, I don't know if you see posts, but
It's like they'll boo you.
They will boo you. They will go crazy on you.
Yeah.
Somebody will throw a chair. Like if you're commentating and the person who's voguing can't keep going, you know what I mean? If I'm hipping up, if I'm making mistakes in my voice, you know, it's a rhythm. It's not like rap.
Yeah.
Like I'm the beat. You know what I mean? It's not like ain't gotta pop that trump, but I got that right. It's ain't gotta pop that, bitch, pop that. Like, it's different. You know what I mean? You have to let people. You have to give them the rhythm to dance to. And if I fucking hiccup,
the whole room stops.
They might lose the battle. They might lose the battle. And a lot of these battles, they are for thousands of dollars and hundreds of dollars. It's not just like, you know what I mean? I'm just out here for twiddling my thumbs. Like, these things have become a big deal. Like, Rihanna had a ball, and the grand prize for that was what, $30K for face? Like, just showing your facial features, like, with her makeup on.
I implore everybody to watch Paris is Burning at least one time in your life, man. Like, you'll walk away with such an admiration for, like I say, I'm a huge fan of black culture overall. And I thought that was such a shining moment for a part of black culture that doesn't get represented enough. You talking about early 80s, and as hardcore as New York was, you're watching openly black men be gay and happy and in public and not fear of death, even though that shit is there. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like a different level to me. And I love that.
Oh my God, there's a new show on Netflix. Oh my God, what is it called? This something. Oh my God, I gotta.
There are a lot of shows now.
Well, it's about trans women specifically in Ballroom. So if you watch Paris is Burning, I want you to watch this show afterwards. I'm gonna look for the name right now and give it to y'all before I go, because I think. Was
Laverne Cox?
Laverne Cox is on it.
Yeah, I saw that.
What is it called? Do you know the name?
I forgot the name, but I know there was one person in there who I've seen in plenty of
things.
And I never thought ever in my life.
Because she didn't come out until just recently because she was afraid to. Disclosure. Please watch Disclosure. I think that's a great film to give you more insight about trans people, trans women, trans men in general and what that means. And Paris is Burning gives you insight on the culture that trans women and trans men created.
Yeah, it's crazy. A lot of stuff was happening at 7 a.m. in New York City, you know what I'm saying, that nobody had a clue about.
4 a.m.
Yeah, like, this is happening so early in the damn morning. People are going to work, and this is going on. This is insane. Nobody's done it? Let's keep the door open. It's going to crack. I'm sorry.
Yeah, New York nightlife is very interesting. You know, it is.
Well, you seem to have flourished in that scene, man. So, and clearly it comes off in the confidence of you. Like, even how you're speaking now, like, you clearly know that you're a star. And you know that this is it's not even a possibility. Like, you're there. I feel like New York and you just kind of moving around that scene kind of helped that.
I mean, I feel like everything gave me confidence. So, like, yo, I'm a Leo. My birthday's next Tuesday.
Oh, my mom's is next week.
KK.
Oh, wait. Calm down. Sag season is always in effect. I don't know what y'all talking about.
And I'm the oldest of 4, so I think that, like, I've always been kind of bossy and, like, just confident. And I feel like a lot of the lessons that I had, like the losses that I've had in New York, they have made me more confident because it's like, you know, I did it and I worked it through. Like, CareFreeBlackGirl used to have, like, 10 people at the cookout. Yeah. Now we have, like, 500, 1,000. Like, it should be crazy. You know what I mean? It's like... That's why I'm like.
Let's talk about Carefree.
I failed a lot. That's why I be laughing.
Let's talk about CareFreeBlackGirl, because the first time I heard the name, it was a barbecue, and I remember Shanique and them was doing. I think it was after A3C. It was one of those side A3C type parties, and I just thought the name was dope. I was, you know, I'm a fan of shit like that too. Like, that's a dope ass name, CareFreeBlackGirl. I wish I came up with that. And then I was like, and I watched it kind of slowly over time become an actual thing, like to the point where y'all had podcasts and you were doing, you know, bigger events and things like that. Mm-hmm. Speak to us about how the concept for CareFreeBlackGirl kind of came up, and who are some of the people who kind of helped you bring it to life?
Okay, work. So I came up with the name, like, trying to describe myself as an artist. Like, when I first started rapping, I was already calling myself, like, the Carefree Black Girl from Savannah or whatever. And I just started, like, tweeting it. I had a whole Tumblr page where I just used to write, like, from 2011 to, like, 2014, actually. Put, like, posts of people who I felt like looked like Carefree Black Girls, like the aesthetic for, like, mad long. And then it started to go viral. And though I was still, like, using the term, it was really, like, just a phrase. In 2014, I decided to do a cookout. I did the cookout. It was pretty cool. Did about 10 people. Me and my homies. The next year, well, it was a picnic then. The next year, I decided to do the Carefree Black Girl picnic. I did a flyer, and then it went viral. Like, I had 100 RTs off this picnic or whatever, and everybody's like, oh my God, I want to come, blah, blah, blah. like the next day at like 1 o'clock, I got this email from CurlFest sending me a cease and desist saying that I took the concept of their event and that I need to take down my flyer, blah, blah, blah. So, like, I was just distraught. I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should cancel my event. And long story short, still had the event. Just to make a long story even shorter, I ended up, going online later on that day. The people from CurlFest was trying to attack me, telling me that, like, because the girl who made my flyer took a picture at CurlFest the year before and used it to make my flyer, and I didn't know. If that makes sense.
That's not your fault.
So technically, it was her picture, but it was still their event.
Yeah.
So I got online. I apologized. However, the event was at 4 o'clock. Y'all emailed me at 1. There's nothing I can do. Her people started getting at me. I was like, oh my God, I'm about to delete everything. But then what happened was 25 people from my event started going ham on them. CurlFest, this big ass shit. And so I don't know. The next day, I called my friend. I was like, yo, I got $700. What can I do with Carefree Black Girl? He was like, I think we should get an LLC trademark first. And I was like, let's go. And then I just started it because it just was like, okay, I'm going to make a company. I don't know what it's going to be, but I don't want this to just be a phrase on the internet no more. Like, we about to do something bigger. And so we created the Carefree Black Girl Picnic. At first, it was just a meetup place for Black women to show their talent and all this shit. And it went from that till now we do festivals. We have been doing A3C for a while. We actually brought one of the first all-women stages to A3C.
Yeah. Was that the Baby Tate one?
Yeah, the first one. It was at the Delicious. It was on Edgewood. I forgot the place.
No, I'm thinking of a different one.
Edgewood, it was up top. So we've been doing it for a while. But last year, A3C fell apart. It was just shitty. But yeah, since then, we do festivals. And our festivals, we have no less than 300, 400 people. Last year we did Brooklyn, North Carolina, Savannah, Atlanta,
Let me
DC.
borrow $1. Yeah, you got it. Let me borrow $1.
No, it's a lot of community-based stuff. So our vendors, they pay for vendor slots, which I feel like is never really expensive. And then we get low cost, or we do outside spots. It's very deep, do it yourself. This year we were going to pipe up to take it to the next level, but you never know. I don't know what it's going to look like after COVID, but we have the podcast, we have merch, we do online little stuff. So Carefree Black Girl is just big. It was just me. I think Shanika came on board 2016, 2017 when I did the first Atlanta cookout. She was doing PR. I just asked her if she want to work with the gang. She said yeah. She went from doing PR to she does booking artists. Relly is my manager, but she also helps with Carefree Black Girl with the vendors and organization. Wise, he owns Indie Creative Network. He's the co-producer of the podcast with me.
Shout out to Wise, man.
Shout out to Wise, because I didn't know nothing about podcasting when I wanted to do it in 2016. So within a matter of 2 years, it just became so many things. I did the cookout. Then Wise was like, you should start a podcast. I was like, shit, I should start a podcast. And I was just but I don't want to be on it. So we got to fire people to be on it. So it's it's a big thing. It's a lifestyle brand. Right now, it's a podcast. It's an event. Next 5 years, it might be a studio. 10 years, it might be a label. Who knows?
Man, I see so much potential in that. Especially the way you broke it down. There's so many different things you could do. Y'all could have a gathering spot type, creative space, man.
That's my goal. I will have a studio in Atlanta within a year. I don't know what it's going to be yet. I know I wanted to podcasting and photo shoots, but I wanted to have something, like you said, a creative something. So we're seeing.
Let's manifest that, because I saw
my head is going.
I saw you tweet that today. Let's manifest that you're going to have a studio by next year.
I have to.
Has COVID, well, you kind of mentioned it, because, COVID has slowed down a lot of things. South by Southwest broke my heart,
Yes, y'all. We was about to go crazy.
That was my thing.
Shout out to all the girls we had pre-booked.
Look, so let's talk about how the money was already made. And then I get this phone call about South by Southwest being done. The money was made already. But COVID, how has COVID kind of affected Carefree Black Girl? Have you thought about kind of going viral or virtual with some of the stuff you do?
So Carefree Black Girl is a lot of online based. We have our hashtag that people use all the time and they never stop using it. So in that sense, we're a thought. Carefree Black Girl is a thought, it's a way of life. So it's never going to go away. Virtually, we do the Twitter chats and stuff like that, but we are more in-person based. So what we've done since COVID is switch our newsletter to like giving out information for people. We have about 5,000 people in our newsletter and growing. So we send out information to them. We try to encourage people to buy black, stuff like that. We use our Twitter as like a platform for conversation. The podcast is going heavy. So we just focusing on those things, like the digital things that we already have in place. And like Sydney, she does like, you know, readings or whatever. So, you know, we let her do her thing. Like Shanika, she does Q&A. Candy Ray DJs. Haley does like different shit. So like separately, the hosts are doing things. And I think I like the fact that they're like taking their platforms digitally. And then we're focusing on just making people listen to how we feel about everything right now. And yeah, the merch. Like we were so focused on like the in-person events. I really wasn't giving a crap about the merch because every time I get like 40, 50 pieces of merch, we sell out in person. So now it's more like online sales and like
light
it's
flex.
Been really
Light flex. You know, every time we get 50 pieces, it'd be gone, dog.
No, but these are in-person sales. So just imagine if we don't have an event for like 3 months. You know, we might only have like one sale a week. So I had to pivot to like, you know, doing more ads that focus on like the merch and like making sure I get people to wear the shirts. And when people wear the shirts, like post the pictures and stuff like that. So, and hiring an intern because I can't do everything.
Facts.
I have a manager, like for me in music, I had to get an intern, 2 interns actually, to help with CareFreeBlackGirl. And they're on a stipend. Thankfully, I'm in a position to like not have to have free labor.
I feel like Quanna does business taxes. Like you have business taxes, don't you? Like it's not just personal. She has to do like a whole separate.
I have business taxes. Yes,
She does
yes,
business
I do.
taxes.
I really do. I definitely look at myself and what I have to offer to the music industry as something that like is lifelong. So when I think of it, like I want to be able to like leave a piece to my friends, leave a piece to my niece, and like make sure that like, you know, the artists who perform with us, they can like go down the pipeline and see different opportunities. So I have to think of it strategically. I can't really think of it like when I'm going to South by Southwest, I know I want to perform, but I have to make sure that I book the right artists and book a stage that makes sense. So like it takes us like 2 months to book like a stage, but it's not about like getting people to perform because we have an influx of people who want to perform, but it's at every level. From the new Atlantic record signee to the girl that we saw on the street in open mic that had the freaking amazing voice. So we try to like balance it out. So a lot of times it does have to be like, okay, if I book this person, I know she's not going to sell any tickets. So I need to make sure that if I book her, if I book her, that I have 2 or 3 headliners already booked so that the festival will ask me why I booked this girl with only 100 followers. Yeah. Like, so it's just like always like stuff like that. So I think about like numbers and shit all the time. It's really weird.
You know, recently we saw a hip hop first, or a music first, really. We saw Megan Thee Stallion and Beyonce go head to head with Doja and Nicki Minaj for the #1 spot on Billboard.
Yes, I lived for it.
Yeah, me too. Because I'm a fan of hip hop overall. I love hearing people who could just kind of rhyme. I love voices, and I really love a lot of the female rap I'm seeing right now. And it's not simply the Megans of the world. I'm talking like from your Kamayas and your baby mothers to your no names all the way up to somebody like Asian Nay. You know what I'm saying? Like there's such a vast variety of voices that's available for you to listen to, and I think it's dope to see. Like I'm at the point now where I could put a mulatto on my playlist, on the studio playlist, and nobody blink when she come on. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like we're getting to that point now. How do you feel like the state of female rap? I guess I gotta say it like that.
No, say women rap.
Women rap, excuse me. How do you feel about the state of women rap right now?
Okay, I definitely feel like women rap is here to stay. I definitely feel like rap in general is here to stay because there are more women. Music for a while was sounding all the same, and it wasn't sounding the same because like there weren't a variety of rappers. It's just that those rappers weren't reaching the forefront, and I think that the industry got hungry, and then we came to save the day. And it's dope. You know what I'm saying? I love the variety. I love the fact that we have people like our Saweeties, who's like the fashion goddess. You know what I mean? She's cute. She got her little bobs. People can say what they want to say about her remaking the songs, but the guys do it all the time. Let her do her. You know what I mean? We need a couple of those. We need the people who are very lyrical, like the Rhapsodies and all those. We need the Megan Thee Stallions. We need the girls, you know, who gonna give us the whole routines and give us the visuals, who gonna give us the bars, who gonna give us the bobs. Yeah. And I feel like we're in a good place. I really am hoping that people keep up the momentum. I'm personally like, I used to fight a lot when I was younger. So now that I'm older, I'm not really like a competition person. Like I love competition, but like if you diss me, I probably wouldn't like diss you back. I probably wouldn't give a shit. I probably would just try to make like a great record. Like you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't try to like talk about your mama or no shit on my record. And I think that for a while, like it was getting like very like at your throat. You can't do shit unless you beefing with this bitch, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, it took away from like seeing everybody and what they had to offer, because it's like, damn, Remy, I really wanted to hear about what it was like in the, like I don't want to go to prison, but I want to know like where her mental is at when she was there. And I think we missed that with the whole beef era of women rap. And I'm so happy that we're like getting past that and people are just like making music. And I think it's super dope.
You know, one thing I like is, and you hit the nail on the head when you mentioned Sweetie, that you can now have equal opportunity criticism. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because I remember coming up, you know, people would harp on Foxy and Lil' Kim and say, oh, they have the same, they're all rapping the same thing. Mm-hmm. But I think it's part of it is because they were all kind of lumped into having to have the kind of same type of
persona
gimmick
in order to be heard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Nowadays,
that's really what it is.
Nowadays, I could happily get on Twitter and say, yo, Megan Thee Stallion's making the same song 5 times like she's Future. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I could feel comfortable saying that because yeah, it's real. Like, she's actually an artist. She's making a lot of music. It's dope. But it is kind of sound like Future at this point. That's your thing. But also, there's all these other voices just like with other hip-hop. Like, you could also open up your ears and say, like, there's also all these other talents out here that you can lend your time to.
My favorite person to listen to when I'm, like, in a mode I want to be turned up is, like, Baby Mother, Tierra Whack, because they give me personality in their music. Yeah. And I love, like, just going through different, like, modes. Like, Baby Mother, she's, like, Gangsta Boo, mixed with, like, you know what I mean, some hood chick, but then she be on her spiritual shit. So it just gives it for me. Yeah. Like, it does it for me. Like, I don't always have to, like, be in one mode. And Tierra Whack, she be rapping about pizza and her pets and shit. Like, that really intrigues me because I'm like, this is super creative. Yeah. Like, we need this. Like, I like her. I live for that.
I like Lil Sims too. Sims is so lyrical that it's like, she almost goes over, I think she's like Jid to me. She goes over people's heads how lyrical she is. It's just the accent
for me. And I know that y'all have already tried to drag me on social media for this, but y'all already know how I feel. Like, I love, Lil Sims is dope, but I sonically, my mind won't click to her sound, and I wish it would. I really wish it would.
Is it a British accent?
Yeah.
My wife's like that. She can't listen to stuff.
Sound, and I really been trying, like, and I don't know. I wish.
You're not alone.
Like, I'm afraid. I want to. I've gone to her concerts before. I think she's a dope performer.
Yeah, she's
like,
ill.
She captured me, but when I went home to like listen, it just was like.
If that's the one thing that's holding her back, I mean, we can't change her accent.
No, I don't think it's holding her back from anything. I think she's very successful for what she does. Like, and being like British, I think a lot of people to be known in both countries and like other places. I think that's quite successful.
What I think is lit too, especially with it, and I think this lane has really opened up for women in hip hop, is that you don't necessarily need a label no more. And the best thing is, can somebody open the door downstairs real quick? The best thing, for people who listen to the show audio wise, there's a lot of stuff happens in the studio. I'm sorry, a lot of stuff goes on.
I am sitting next to Apollo's shit.
Yeah,
this is great.
But the thing I like is, you could discover music. You could discover music through TV. Like I've discovered so many people through Issa Rae show. You know, alone.
Insecure. I'm trying to be on there.
Alone.
If you're watching this, I'm begging you, please tell this lady I want to be on her show.
Yo, please have that, because I've had a dream that she had to film an episode of her show in Atlanta, and they had to come somewhere to get weed, and they came here. So let's keep manifesting these things. Let's keep manifesting these things, and that actually happens. And they do like a collab of Atlanta and everything, almost like a Marvel movie.
She got to come to Atlanta to do her event.
Facts. But
I be feeling like she's watching my life, because how she doing a block party in the community, and I've been doing that. Now I'm just playing.
No, call out. No, I'm playing.
I'm just playing. That's how people be though.
But I think it's dope that we do find artists like that nowadays, because again, even like somebody like young Baby Tate. I feel like Baby Tate has 2 solid hit records right now, and you don't need to hear him ever on the radio, because I could turn on Insecure at the second.
Yeah.
And hear him bop out. So I feel like that lane is wide open for women in hip hop, where you could like abuse that, like from abuse that lane, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm focused on right now. Just radio. Well, not really radio, because like I really didn't care about radio until people started playing my record on radio, and it made me more interested. Like, oh my god, people really like it on radio stations. Oh my god, that means they like it in their car. But for me, I think that
this is a real statement. They play me on the radio. They must like me in their car.
But TV for me is like, dang, like everybody will be watching this show. Like, and if you don't see it that day, you gonna go back and you go watch it and you go see.
And it makes you either Google or Shazam something.
Yeah,
For real,
like,
straight up.
Get on TV.
Straight up. Who's some of your favorite artists?
All time or right now?
All time.
So Outkast, give Lauryn Hill. We're gonna give. Who else are we gonna give their things?
I'd love to give Lauryn Hill more credit than she.
I'm gonna give her things. I'm gonna give her things. I'm
I
gonna give
would love
Lauryn
to.
Hill
I
her
would
things.
love
I'm gonna
to.
give Whitney Houston, the goddess,
Yeah.
her things. Personality wise, like that's who I am. Like I'm not a singer. No, I do not have the chops like her. But like personality, that's my queen. I like Anita Baker.
She gave us a variety.
I love Anita Baker. Fuck, I love a lot of people. Like I love Luther Vandross. I know it's like a lot of soulful music, but like, yeah, I loved him. Jay-Z. Honorable mention, Mr. West. Who else I like? Myself.
Of course.
Dylan.
Yeah, right. Dylan.
I can't think of nobody else. Camouflage from Savannah.
Shout out, rest in peace,
Rest in
Camouflage.
peace.
Yeah.
Like, shit, I can't even think of nobody else.
That's
like,
crazy. Who you bopping right now?
I love, I'm bopping Megan, City Girls. Damn, who did I bop today? Lil Baby. Y'all, hi y'all. Lil Baby, I did Baby Mother today. Saweetie, definitely, I was tapping in. Sir from the West Coast. Oh my God, Sir.
Shout out to Sir, man.
Nigga.
Have y'all seen the King
with it.
of the Hill video he did?
Yes, I love it. That's the first time. Hair Down is the first time I ever heard a song, and I was like, Kendrick, you need to stop rapping. Like, they should have let him say some more. I love Kendrick Lamar though, but he puts me off on that song. Who else have I listened to? Oh my God. Yeah, I just love music. It's so Solange. Yeah, I love Solo. I'm Solo Hive.
Does she have a hive? There's a solo hive?
Oh, Solo Tribe.
That's what's up. I just learned something new right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tribe.
That's what that is. It's good.
Yeah, I always play like my friends' music. Like I play a lot of Bosco. I play Amazing. I play a lot of my homies' music.
Let's get into your
Whoever's
music
out.
though, man. You between Complex and Like Me, you kind of bubbling right now. I heard Spotify jumping for you right now.
Yes, I'm like, whoever listens to me on Spotify, y'all, I appreciate y'all.
Get them to start listening on Tidal, man. It's a bigger payout.
Okay, so yes, can I talk to this right here? Y'all need to stream me on Tidal because that's the one I actually pay for. I don't even pay for Spotify.
Facts, me either.
So please stream me on Tidal because I can actually get $1. For what? How many streams is it?
Yo, yeah, like what's it, you get you don't have to get 8 million streams to get $100.
68 streams and you can get $1.
That's what's up.
And that's a low number, so I think that's really nice.
We can stream you 68 times
You can
tonight.
stream me 68 times. Stream me on Tidal.
Let's make that a move. Let's make that a challenge. We're gonna stream Quanna on Tidal tonight.
Where? Oh yeah. So my name is Quanna. As y'all heard. The first song that I want y'all to stream is "Like Me" remix. Y'all, that song is about my little niece is in the video. She loves it. You will love it too. It's about just having confidence and just doing you. Like, I like to make anthems for girls and, gays. And I always say guys can sing along too because I'm trying to, like, build confidence in people. Yeah. Like, I don't want to have people listen to my music and be like, oh, I got to be in the right mood to listen to her music. I want people to listen to my music and it gets them in the mood, you know what I mean, for whatever. So... and the mood that I have right now, because I've had so many people die, is like turned up. Not even turned up, but like internally. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like everything else is already fucked up. I feel like for you as a person, if you could have that song that's just like, yo, I came on this shit, and I like you get in the mirror, you just getting dressed for no reason. You ain't going nowhere but on the porch, but it gives you that confidence. And so that's what Like Me was for me. I made it mad long ago, but I heard it one day, and I was like, I need to remix this. And I remixed it on a new beat, and it sounds amazing. And y'all are gonna love it. And then we have Complex. Complex is my song where I could just, like, rap in whatever tone, whatever freaking style I wanted to. Complex, I gave at least 4 different styles. I rapped about your aunties, your uncles. It was something much slower paced than my normal, like, 89 BPM, 90 BPM that y'all be like, oh my God, I'm always so fast. It was a little slower. And yeah, it's still a bop. And I feel like that's a dope one. The video is all me. I showed a few angles. I had on some old vintage Carl Kanai. My inspiration came from 90s videos because, like I said, I'm a different type of beautiful. Like I feel like I'm classic beauty. Yeah, and I really love like 90s glam. I love 70s glam.
Yeah. I love 70s style too.
I love 70s style, like blaxploitation.
Speaking of,
like,
yeah, inspired by my shirt line. Yeah, blaxploitation, man.
I love like Black women superheroes. I love like seeing Black women like in regal and in power because, you know, like we're always around, but we're always like around. Like, and I like to like highlight those things. That's why I use a lot of that imagery and a lot of very like bold images when I choose songs and shit like that.
Do you look at yourself as a role model? And I say this for this reason. It's probably be the last question of the night. Because I got a niece right now. She's 11 and she's amazing. And I look at some of the things that she's able to do, and it's like, it's just dope to me because I'm like, the people that I'm watching you watch and you're emulating, I'm watching her become like a even super creative, this really open, like really confident kind of person. That's dope to me. And I feel like you're kind of a representation of what she's about to become, which is a super dope, carefree Black woman.
Yeah.
You know, so do you feel like do you see yourself being like a role model to little sisters like that?
I try to be just a human being, like I say. I mean, people might say I'm a role model. I don't really like try to be. Yeah. When people say, okay, you're a role model, I'll be like, I'm a real hurt person, so if I do make a mistake, don't hold me to none of this stuff. Like
Charles Barkley.
I stress that a lot, but I mean, I guess I'm a role model. I try to do things that I feel like that I would have to shy away from. You know, like I've been like in sex work before. I was a dominatrix. Like, you know, I don't like talk bad about. No, it's random, but it's like I don't really like. Even though I have CareFreeBlackGirl and I'm doing all these great things, like I don't paint a picture that I'm not like, you know what I mean? I'm not like just me, you know what I mean? Like I feel like when in the South and just like most of the world in general, being well-to-do and college educated means one thing and being successful means one thing. But on the grand scheme of things, it's a lot of different things. And when you say role model, I think sometimes it's attached to like the more well-to-do. And though I do have those credentials, I don't know if those credentials actually made me like who I am, if that makes sense. Like, because like I know I have an edge and I have confidence from whipping white men asses and locking them in cages as much as I do just like going to Clark Atlanta, you know what I mean, and like going to HBCU. So it's really like a very like balanced scale, and it's really slippery when I hear the word role model.
I feel you. You know what? You are
like,
one.
how do you feel like
Own
that? Like, you know what I mean?
That.
Because like, what if tomorrow I decide to just go curse everybody out, like every white person that I see?
Oh, I'm
like,
still a role model. I'm still a role model. I think about it every day. I'm still a role model.
So I might think that like, oh my God, she's racist or something.
I'm still a role model. Look, that's still gonna be me. That was just part of me being a role model.
Y'all just high talking shit. This is the smoker show, right? But no, yeah, it's slippery for me, but I don't mind it. I wouldn't like shy away from it. But if you a little kid and you call me a role model, you better not be surprised if I clip you up, like just to show you that like I'm gangster, you know?
Quanna, you're amazing, man. You're amazing. And you know what? Before we get out of here, I really didn't ask you the weed question. When did you first start smoking weed?
I took my first puff when I was like 9, and I never smoked again. So I was like 20, but I could always smoke. My mom was very open about it. Like,
your mom sold weed to Rakim, dog.
No, her mom did.
Oh, her mom did. Her mom sold weed to Rakim.
Old school Diva. She did. They was like young. My mom can't tell. My mom is younger than them.
Then who, Rakim and them? That's crazy.
My mom's 47. I actually got my name from the first rapper that was in their crew. You should look it up.
Quanna, you are amazing. No. This is everything I thought this episode was going to be.
Please not. People are going to be like, what? This girl is crazy. I am crazy, man. I just be smoking a lot of weed, talking shit, making bops for the people. You know what I'm saying? Trying to change the world.
One song at a time, man. Quanna, I appreciate you.
One blood at a time.
I appreciate you coming through tonight and blessing us with all this Black girl magic.
Thank you for having me, Becca.
No doubt. That's Cash Color Cannabis, high level of conversation on LivehiphopDaily.tv.
Are my lips shining?